Oh, there's a lot of people getting on this call today.
Oh.
Deborah Lord in Port Angeles, Washington.
Susan from BC.
Teresa George.
Picked a good
Awesome.
time, too.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for dialing in. This is Shiloh Extra. I'm super excited to get this call kicked off. My phone is smoking. If yours isn't smoking, this call's for you. You got to realize what the name of the game is in this business is duplication, and we're going to go over everything tonight. I'm excited to bring my Paige on the line with me in a little bit here. We're just going to hammer it out, and we're really going to get laser focused for the next 90 days here. We really want to talk about the importance of the next week coming up. There is no auto ship, so we need to be smart about this week. Also, the next 90 days, getting everybody to Dallas, how crucial that is. So send out those last-minute messages, guys. Lots of people joining us on this call, so we're going to get kicked off in about 2 more minutes.
This is Stacy.
Savannah.
Brenda,
This is
Tammy from Alabama.
This is Erica in Texas. From Georgia, sorry. Krista in Minneapolis.
Marissa Maldonado in Oregon.
Deidre Phillips.
Christy from Kaiser, Oregon.
Lisa Santoro.
Paul McLean,
Tammy Curlis.
Eugene, Oregon.
Amanda Richter.
Debbie from Florida.
Upstate New York.
Hey, Florida. Hey, everybody who's dialing in, thank you so much. I'm going to get this call kicked off in about 30 more seconds. We go ahead and mute out the lines here, and we're going to get kicked off. Thanks for coming on.
I'll do the same thing. Ronnie Fawcett.
Honeywell, Montana.
Tina Shaven.
Muted.
All right, everyone, it's the top of the hour. Thank you so much for dialing in. We're going to max out this line, I have a feeling, tonight. Thank you. It is Sunday. It's the end of the pay period, one of the biggest weeks we've had here on our team. If you're joining us from other teams, welcome. Super excited to have everybody on tonight. You know, I have done a lot of calls recently, and the number one things that keep getting up are the basics, and they're really, it's all about duplication here, everybody. Everything revolves around that in this business, and we have to make sure that for the next 90 days, some of the biggest 90 days we're ever going to see here in this company, we have to tighten up our ships. We have to be duplicating within the team. Little backstory, if you don't know me, I'm out of Duluth, Minnesota. I got started 20 months ago from a phone call from a friend of mine, and it changed my life. But I made a commitment to do something in 90 days, and I hit it. I hit my goal. It was to go 200K in this company in the shortest amount of time for a woman at the moment. And I was on fire. You know, our team was going. But, you know, sometimes when you build fast, there's a lot of things that can get missed. And something that happened to our team was in the first few levels, we were seeing that duplication. But then all of a sudden, level 3, level 4, level 5, where was it? We're missing it. What was going on? How come these people weren't getting it? Well, you know, we kind of loosely told people, yeah, you should put people on a second three-way. Yeah, you should do this. Yeah, you should do that. But, you know, I never really got it back, and so we spent about 6 months trying to fix some of this stuff. But a lot of promoters got left behind. Some of them were frustrated and quit. Some of them hung in there. But, you know, we really never got our momentum back. It took till we went to around Dallas. for the launch of the Success from Home, that is when we all realized what we needed to do. We got out of Dallas, and I spent 20 hours in a car, I should say a big old diesel truck, and I drove all the way home getting IMs from people, daily goals, monthly goals, 90-day goals, 1-year goal, 5-year goal. I had everybody send this to me. I had so much response, I couldn't even read them all. Everyone was excited and ready to go. Everyone was ready to become coachable again. We were so sick of sitting in this 300,000, 250,000, maybe 400,000. It just wasn't growing like some of the teams in this company were. And you know what? If you step out of Le-Vel and actually look at where you're at, this is a blessing. I want everybody to know what this is. If you were in any other network marketing company at the moment, it would take you years, 7 to 10, to even get to 200K, maybe. You've got to realize where you're at. So remember what this is. It's a true blessing. And sometimes when we're inside of it, we can very much look around and compare ourselves to others. I got caught up in that game. I got caught up in a mindset game with my own self. And I want to prevent that. And I want you to realize it's okay to go at your own pace. But if you want to make that explosive momentum like other teams are, like our teams are right now, you're going to have to accept that something isn't working, and let's fix it. And I think today we're going to fix it. I've been on the phone with a lot of teams. I've been talking to promoters that have been in this business for over a year. They're realizing what's working and what's not working, and they want to start fresh. So I want to reach out to all of you and say, we are going to teach you how simple this is. And I'm going to tell you, you're probably overcomplicating it. Do you feel like a hamster in a wheel? You're doing so much, and you feel like your head's going to come off, but nothing's happening. It's because you're overcomplicating the easiest simple system we have, okay? So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to kind of do a crash course right now, but then I'm going to bring Mike on for some other things, and he's going to give his input on this too, because he's passionate about the simple system and duplication. So you know what? Everyone needs to work on approach, first and foremost. How are you approaching people? Are you puking on people? Are you trying to explain what this is? Let me tell you something. Le-Vel has to be experienced, you can't describe it. There's nothing out there. I always say, we're like apples to one orange. Le-Vel's the only orange out there in this world. So it's not easy for people to grasp because they don't understand it. So what did Le-Vel do for us? They created the free enrollment. Why? Because your job isn't to sell or pitch your friends. They're not going to like you if you do that, and you're going to burn them out. Someone told me today they're losing Facebook friends. They said, oh, my gosh, we need to fix that. You cannot be puking on people and trying to sell them. Everyone asks me, how do you do it? I say, hey, how are you? Start up a conversation with your friends. Get the conversation going. Let them respond to you. I'm doing good. What's new with you? Oh, just started my 8-week experience. What is that? Give me your email. I'll show you. Want an even simpler one? Have you heard of Thrive? No, what is it? Give me your email. I'll show you. Do not say we are a nutraceutical and a 3 to 4 paragraph long thing. Listen, no one's going to read that. Do not send email campaigns out that are so perfectly written and drafted. It took you 3 hours to make. They're not even reading them. Let me tell you something about emails. I had 3,000 emails yesterday. I deleted them. I did not read them. It's just like voicemail. I don't want to listen to it. Most people don't see the emails, so be careful about that. Short and simple. People are busy, and if they don't know what this is yet, they're not as excited as you about it. Remember that. So take control of your business. So get that email. Do not talk. I want you to go in, and I want you to go click My Team and click Enroll Customer, not Promoter. Why? Because if you enroll a customer that is a customer that wanted to be or how am I saying this? If you enroll someone as a promoter, and they never wanted to be a promoter, and they place a customer order, not even knowing any different, and 3 weeks later they call you and say, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this, I think I want to promote this. You get to be the person that says, oh, bummer, you missed out on $1,200 in cash. They're not going to like you. They're not. So don't make that mistake. Anyone can go in and click upgrade at any time. It's free, but let them be in charge of it, okay? So get them in. Get their email, give them a username and password, and this is your next step. Go into a Facebook message or a text, not an email. Hey, got your free link. Got your free website. Go to Le-Vel.com, click Customer, enter your email, and here's your password. What did I just do? I guided them. I gave them specific instructions on what to do. Why? 90% of the people need to be guided. They do not know what to do with a referral website. Half the time, you lose those. They type them in wrong. They become someone else's customer. They don't care about it. There's so many mistakes that can happen with that referral link. Please take control of it yourself and sign everyone up yourself. So now you send that back to them. Hey, check this out when you have time. Next step, want to know what this is all about? Listen to this call and message me when you're done. You're guiding them. You're telling them exactly what to do. Last thing, go to our fan page, put the link in there, click like and read the stories. Once again, you're telling them specifically what to do. 75% of the system is done. You're done. How much did you talk? You didn't. How much do they know about everything? They're looking. Give them a couple days. If they don't message you in a couple days, here's a great follow-up. Hey, did you listen to that call? Have you registered? Have you looked at your site? You know what I have? I have a couple questions. Awesome. What time can I call you today? 2 o'clock. You got it. Now you got to get a group message going with everyone from 12K and above you if you're under 12K. Everyone above you, all the way up to Shiloh and Mike. Anyone have time for a call at 3 o'clock? Shiloh says yes. Awesome. You're going to call me. You're going to give me a little background real quick, and then you're going to call your friend. Your friend's going to chat with you for a second. Go, oh, you know what? Hold on. My friend Shiloh's calling me. Merge me on. You know what? Since I had her on the line, I thought she could say hi, but she's really good. She's been in for a little bit longer, and she can answer your question. Mute your phone out. You're done. I've talked to probably 200 promoters in the last 5 days about this. No lie. I've been on lots of calls. And every time they're like, I have been doing this wrong for so long. They actually sound tired. If you're doing more than this, you're doing too much. You have to show these people how simple this is. If you look like a chicken with your head cut off, you don't look simple. You look scary. Don't be too aggressive. You don't have to be. Remember, you're just the bridge to the information. You're not the message of Le-Vel. Jason and Paul are the message of Le-Vel. No one else in this business can do it like they can. Let the system work for you. This is so, so important. Now on our team, we also do the second three-way, which we named the welcome call. Who does welcome calls? 200Ks and above. Why? You have to build your business. Welcome calls are training calls done by me, Rosella, Becky, or Mike at the moment in our team. What do we do on those calls? Exactly what I just did with you. I train you how to do this and how not to do this. Because the first 2 weeks in this business are crucial, and if you're doing it wrong, they're going to be exhausted. Your promoters are going to make mistakes, and then they're going to come back feeling helpless. I didn't hit my VIPs. Well, I don't even know I can call Shiloh or Mike. I didn't even know them. You need to introduce your newest people to your 200K and above so we can train them, so we can help them and get them fully informed so they're ready to go to battle, basically. You don't want to send your new promoter out there with like a boat with no oars. We want to set them up for success. So the welcome call is 15, 20 minutes tops. Sometimes they're 10 minutes. But we review everything I just said. We make sure they understand, and then we hit on VIP. That's the lifeblood of the business. You have to get your promoters to VIP in their first 14 days. You really do. So I want to bring Mike on right now because I want him to touch on everything I kind of went over, but how important it is to duplicate and his thought process on approach. And I'm going to go into follow-up with him and something I've been using a lot that's been working, but I want him to just say hi because I kind of took over the call. So Mike, you out there?
Yeah, I am, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing when I just think about approach is just not talking too much and keep it simple. I mean, if somebody reaches out to me about anything, if there's a bunch of even promoters, when you guys send me a big long message, I can promise you I'm not reading it. If it's more than about 6 or 7 words, I'm just I just don't even look at it because I'm busy with other things. And so, a lot better to just reach out to somebody. And it's interesting, I've been having my 18-year-old son from college just send out messages, hey, how are you? Because I have so many Facebook friends, it's really difficult to reach out to them all, so he just sends out 50 a night. Whoever responds, I just create a conversation with them and start, what have you been up to, what's going on, keeping it really simple. And if they say, gosh, dang, looks like you're having a lot of success with what you're doing, yeah, absolutely. And if they ask me any question, I don't write a bunch of stuff. I just say, you know what, we have such a simple system to get you fully informed. It's why we're killing it over here, in a write out the steps and keep it all about the system and nothing about, trying to write novels and go back and forth and, lengthy conversations. So for me, the less you say, the more powerful you are, and the more people will duplicate. You just always have to remember that whatever you do, people think they need to know what you know. And if you've been around for 3 months, it's like the difference between a kindergartner and somebody with a PhD. You start talking about all these things and people have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. It's overwhelming, and they're like, my gosh, they're like, I couldn't remember all that stuff. It's only 3 months. When you've been doing it a year and a half, all of a sudden you're, it's like you're an astrophysicist that is just talking language people have zero idea what you're doing or saying. So for me, when you're reaching out, just keep it simple. They always say you can't say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person. So, just keep it simple. And, for me, that's number one.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? My motto in life and business is keep it simple. And he hit something on the head. He's like, when people send me these long, you guys, nobody's going to read something like that. If you're pitching somebody in this long, deep message, they're not reading it. Also, you got to be careful you're not copying pasting. What do I mean? Something that sounds super generic that you send to a lot of people, and they can tell you don't even care. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Hey, how are you is great, but you know what? The next piece of the puzzle is the number one thing people struggle with besides approach, and it's called the follow-up. I have a lot of people in my system, and I'm very, very consistent on my follow-ups, monthly, weekly, daily, depending on when I sign them up, how long they've been in, free sign-ups, and people who I haven't gotten in contact with. And something that we were doing is, a follow-up can be very, very easy, but if you're not doing it correctly, you can really turn people off. A follow-up is not, are you ready to sign up? Are you ready to join? Let's get you going. That's not a follow-up. Paul Gravett taught me a long time ago how to do a proper follow-up, and it works, and it's smart. Hey, I want to give you some company updates. Just got back from Vegas. We had a blast. The company's launching 2 new products over the next couple months. I'm so excited, and we're heading to Dallas in May. I hope you and the family are doing well. I just see you got back from an awesome vacation. Let's chat soon. You're done. You don't pitch them. You just update them. Now, you might not get an instant response, but if you keep doing this once every few weeks, maybe once a month with these people, they are going to respond. 99% of the time, they're going to say something to you. Here's the next big piece. How about people you're frustrated with? People who don't respond. I got a good one for you. These are people who have been in your system for free. They're really not responding. They have nothing to say. And it's been maybe a month or two. And you're like, what is going on? Hey, send me your address. I'm going to send you a free sample. Guarantee within 5 minutes you're going to have their address. And by the way, if you haven't signed them up for free, get them in the system. Oh, I need your email too. These are simple tricks that work. They work. Our product also is the reason we're all here. Remember that. You should have confidence in that. I'm not a sampler. I don't sit and sample to everybody and anybody. But I do send them out, and I'm very smart about it. Because I know if they get that product in their hands and they've been run through the system, they're going to be a customer for sure, ordered. I don't lose faith on that. I know for a fact that they're going to be happy. So you have to remember that this product is everything. But I don't want to sit and say sample, sample, sample. Be smart. Get them through the system first. If they still need a sample after that, fine, send it. Just really smart on that. But be careful. The last piece of this, before I bring Mike on to talk about it, is you have somebody you've been talking to for over a year, maybe 6 months. They're just not engaging with you. And you feel like you're bugging them. We all have those people like, oh my gosh, I'm bugging them. So this is what you do. Hey, I know your time's valuable, and so is mine. And you know what? If you no longer want updates from me, I understand it and respect it. I just don't want to waste any more of your time. I've never once got a response back that was negative. It's always no. Life's been crazy. I love your updates. Please keep updating me. Congratulations. People watch you. Sometimes they don't respond, but always keep a positive presence and always consistently follow up with people. You never know when that one follow-up, that one update is going to be when they sign up. So I want to bring Mike on for this because I want to know, what are you doing when you follow up? You're very consistent as well. So give everybody some tips on, you know, when you're following up, when you're ready to close somebody that's been really, really struggling, you're just struggling with, help everybody on the line with that.
You know, honestly, part of it depends on who the relationship is with, but, you know, I always use that where I say, look, I'm busy. I know you're busy. I don't want to bother you. And it just creates a conversation because when people, one of the things when you have a lot of people in the system, it's just reality. You're not going to bug them as much because you're busy. You've got a lot, you know, you got people always moving forward. You got people that you're always reaching out to for the first time. You know, you're doing brand new three-ways. So when you're, one of the things that just naturally happens is you don't bug people as bad. So that person, it's the weirdest thing, but, you know, think about the last salesperson that just drove you crazy and they were calling you every 5 seconds and you're just, it like puts you on the defensive. So when some of these people, hey, when do you want me to follow up with you? I'll do it. And, you know, a lot of times, oh, you know, give me 2 or 3 weeks. I always go to the longer length just because, again, it creates a scenario where people, you always want people to think you're on the move and they're missing out. But if you're just, you know, you're reaching out to the same 4 people all the time and you're not putting new people in the system all the time, you're going to find people are just going to be, you know, they're going to be repelled by you rather than drawn to you. But if you're always bringing people in, you're always congratulating new people you're bringing on board onto Facebook, those people are watching. And for me, that's the number one way to always get those people in pulling forward to you is just keep pushing forward. Don't sit around waiting for a few people. Just keep putting people in, and they'll see it. And when you're reaching out, they're like, yeah, I noticed you've been super busy. And, I mean, they're noticing those things. So part of it just comes back to, I like being direct. Nothing is worse than calling somebody up or talking to somebody and you're beating around the bush and you're trying not to. I'm always one that just is real direct about, you know, look, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time because things are going crazy. Things are, you know, going extremely well. And, you know, but I've always liked you as a person, always compliment them. Just, you know, there's a reason. For me, there's always a reason. I don't go after people I don't want to be in business with or I don't feel like would be a good fit. And so for me, if I'm reaching out to somebody, I'm always complimenting them. I'm not thinking about them getting in. Like, honestly, most time I'm thinking, gosh, dang it, would you just finally see this thing so it can change your life? But it's not about me or helping me get me where I want to go. It's always about them and helping them improve their life because I know that we have the best thing out there. And if people will follow our system, that they will have a lot of success. And so, you know, I think if you're putting it on them rather than, oh my gosh, if I could just get this person, they'd blow my business up, you know, always be thinking about the positive benefits that it's going to bring to their life and the people that they know's lives rather than what it's going to do for you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a super good point. And I'm going to wrap up some of this duplication. We're going to move on to something different. In our team, I know there's a lot of teams joining us. That's awesome. We implemented the welcome calls and the rally call. I touched on that. All welcome calls go to the 200K. It's the second three-way. We just renamed it because it was too loose. It was too loose. And we really put this into major effect. And the teams that are utilizing this, I'll just be real, they're going 200K or they're more. These are the teams doing this, taking off. You know, I see teams struggle for months and they sit at 12K. If you don't have duplication, you won't go past 12K, period. You won't. You'll get there. You ain't going to stay there. You have to duplicate, but you have to introduce people to your upline, the top leaders in your team, and show how much support you have for people. So that's the next part. After you get a welcome call, I'm going to send you, or Mike's going to send you, or Rosella or Becky, or all the 200Ks are going to say, now you're going to go get introduced to your 80K VIP. And they are going to set you up with a free conference call HD line. We're going to rally behind you on a rally call. It's basically a team call, guys. That is 15 minutes, all stories. We don't talk a lot of business on those calls. We share, and we invite as many people on as we can. Why? The people who are doing rally calls, guess how quick their VIPs happen? Fast. Because they're putting a bunch of people in one spot. How did Mike and I build our business? Team calls. From day one, I was doing team calls. Even if there's 8 people on the phone, it didn't matter. This is built on a phone and computer. But it also gets that newest person, it gets their feet wet for a call, their first call. So instead of calling it a team call, we call it a rally call. We just changed the verbiage, and it changed the system. It changed the duplication. People love it because they're watching their team explode. They're watching their new promoters being set up for success in their first 72 hours. How important is it to know who your upline is? Huge. If you're sitting at, 4K or 12K and you haven't even introduced anybody to your upline, you're preventing your team from growing. Everybody's got strengths, and you've got to use everybody's strengths. So make sure you're introducing your team to their upline. It's so important. It's so crucial. So thank you so much, everybody, for that, and thank you, Mike, for touching on that. But the next thing I want Mike to jump into, because it's really important, is next week, everybody, there is no auto ship. And we're on a fast track right now. There's a lot of people on the line that are going 200K. There's going to be 80K breaking. Our team alone is going to do 1 million. But this next week, if you don't put the pedal to the metal and have the sense of urgency, it will determine your end of the month. This week will determine how you end the month, because you cannot slow down during this. You actually have to charge putting aggressive promos out there. I will be opening a promo up tomorrow, and it's going to be a big one. And I recommend if you're a 12K or above, you have promos going for the week. It is so, so crucial this next week to determine month end. And, Mike, I want you to talk about that in the next 90 days, what's so important right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's interesting because the 15th, obviously today, we just had another massive auto ship, and it really lets people kind of see where they're at. But we have so much time left. But like Shiloh said, next week is honestly the most crucial week to set everybody up to win. When you're a leader and when you're working towards getting to your next rank, it's always about the people in your team and how many people are running for their rank. Hiking distance, if somebody's running for 12K, and by the end of next week they're at $2,000, probably, mentally they're not in that place. But if they're at 7,000, then they've set, if they have a huge week next week, then they will be set up to hit it at the end of the month. The company always comes out with the right promos at the right time. But like Shiloh said, next week is the perfect week because we don't have an auto ship to run a promo. And, that is something that if you haven't done them, you can work around your budget, whatever works for you. And you can definitely get with, somebody who has been involved for, I'd say probably 6 months or longer, but also 80K and up, just because those people are going to have ran promos, or they've worked with a 200K or higher to set those promos up. And there's a million and one ways to do it, to create incentives for your team to hit those goals. It's funny. It's like an extra little carrot makes all the difference in the world. They can then go out to their customers and the new promoters they're working on bringing in, and just one little incentive. It could be free shipping that you offer somebody. It's the craziest thing, but people will jump on it, especially if there's a time-sensitive deadline to it, just like the company. I mean, I always look at the company. I mean, they're buying future momentum all the time by running promos. That is the same exact strategy. I started doing promos, and Sheila did too, from day one, because Paul always taught us, invest back in your business, invest back into the things that create your income. And it's interesting because, I mean, sometimes those promos, we've all ran promos that sting a little bit, but they just continue to create more and more and more residual income on the back end. And so for me, I look at these next 90 days. Le-Vel is in a position right now. The numbers that we're doing from a company-wide revenue, they are at that point where this business, we've got the launch of the two new products, the SGT and the Rest and Move. Those two every time they release a product, every single time, the revenues grow exponentially. And we have those two products. We have another new product that hasn't even been talked about that's coming down the pipeline very shortly after, SGT. We've got May. We have the Success Magazine launch, which they'll have magazines available in Dallas. There's so many things happening right now, and it's interesting because, I know we have, being involved for, I always forget what time, but about 20 months. When I look back over time, I mean, I could map out exactly when there was huge exponential growth and which teams had exponential growth and which teams didn't, and where it takes them over a course of time. When if you miss a window, if you miss this massive launch of SGT and your team doesn't have exponential growth and viral growth, it doesn't mean long-term you're not going to have success. All it means is, instead of being, example, if you're 40K now, instead of being 500K by the end of the year or $1 million by the end of the year, you're 200K by the end of the year. Whole lot of zeros when it comes to your paychecks and the life-changing type income that's created from that. It's all about windows, and you just have to clear your calendar. You have to look at it. I mean, we're moving into April, May, June. A lot of people thinking about spring break, and and just I don't want to offend anybody, but for me, one missed spring break to set my kids up for life or in a much better situation is really not a big deal. Take them downtown, stay close to home so that you're still in the game. You've just got to stay focused during these periods of time, or you miss the windows. You miss the window. It is massive, the difference where your business will be if you miss the window. And the next 90 days, to me, are absolutely critical when it comes to, I always look at the company. If the company is growing, 20% a year, I want to be growing 40% a year, or I want to be keeping pace or exceeding the pace that the company is growing. And during these windows of time, it grows really fast. And if your team's not growing right along with it, again, it doesn't mean that long term you're not going to be there, but it just makes such a difference, where you're going to be. So this is when you have to have your goals written. You have to have everything on your calendar. So when something comes up, somebody's going, oh, we should go away for the weekend and go see a concert and go wine tasting. It's like, Nope, next year. I'm busy. I'm focused. I got goals. I got things that I'm going to accomplish. If you don't, life will get in the way. It will steal your dreams long term to have. Instant gratification is always the killer of everything when it comes to the goals and the things you really want to focus on. But if you don't have it written down, you don't have a vision board, you don't have it right in front of you every time you're dialing on the phone, it is really easy to get distracted. And the more success you have, the easier it is to get distracted. There is no question about it. I was talking to Chris Collins earlier today, and it was like, both of us were like, got to stay focused, got to stay focused, got to stay focused, because it's easy when you don't need to do anything and it just keeps rolling with or without you. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get distracted if you're not having a lot of success and your business isn't where you want to be. It's easy to say, you know what, it'll pick up, I can pick it up in 3 months. It's absolutely critical that you don't make that mistake. So I'll pass it back to you, Shello.
You know what? He said many things that are very, very important, but he's right. If you don't have your goals written down, you don't know where you're going, and you need to have daily goals. I always tell people, you need to start your morning, not on Facebook, not on your phone. You need to start with gratitude. So do not open that up and look at all the negative garbage on there. I want you to go to YouTube, or I want you to sit and be grateful and say it out loud, or listen to some motivation. Start your day off. The way you start your day is the way it's going to end. You need to know that. Also, you need to go to bed with some meditation. You find what works for you, but you need to do this daily. Daily habits are what create large success, and that's what the leaders do. We have daily goals. How many reach-outs are you doing? 5 to 10. Reach out. Hi, how are you? That's it. That's a reach-out. How many sign-ups do you have? Hold yourself accountable. The other thing is, who do you hold yourself accountable with? Are you messaging me every day? Are you messaging your sponsor? You need to be doing that. These are important things that make success happen. My biggest focus right now is Dallas. I want over 200 people in that room, over 200. There's no exception. All my promos right now, they're all based on Dallas. You want to go to Dallas? I got your airfare. Go look at the promos I've posted. Leaders, you thinking about doing a promo? Go buy a room. Fill it. Get your people to Dallas. That's what's going to get them supercharged and take you to the next level. That is my main focus right now. Nothing else. Every day, my daily habits. Be consistent and persistent. Last thing, I challenge you to go as hard as you can right now for the next 90 days. Commit to duplicate with me. Commit to stick to this protocol. Commit to doing this simple system. Commit to reaching out to me and Mike for every welcome call. Every 200K and above gets on those welcome calls, and we train people how to do this correctly. Everybody knows that they're supported. If you're trying to do this all by yourself as a 12K, you know it's not working. Don't lie to yourself. Go look in the mirror and say, it isn't working. She's probably right. Even if you don't like when I say it, she's probably right. No promoter gets left behind on this team. I never want to hear that they didn't know they could reach out to me. They didn't even know who me and Mike were. They didn't know they're 200K, they're 80K. That is not acceptable. You have to commit to being a team player and letting your team work with everybody. Everybody. Even if you don't work well with somebody, don't suppress your team because you don't like somebody. Allow anybody that they can work with because you want to see them be successful. That's so important. Let's go out there. Let's knock the next 90 days out. But more important, this next week is critical. Get your promos ready by 11 Central tonight and have them posted in leadership updates because your team needs to rock and roll. They need to commit to duplicate. We need to be doing rally calls 6 to 7 a night, each leader. 6 to 7 small calls a night plus the corporate calls. You guys have to be so busy you have no time up for the noise. Jason Camper just said it to me again. Get so busy. Nothing else matters. Nothing bothers you. No negativity in